Hey there, history enthusiasts. Welcome to Disturbing History Mysteries. Today we're about to embark on a journey that reveals an unfortunate truth. Today's topic is Blacks Beware, 7 countries that you never want to visit. Number 7. Spain. Imagine Spain, a country known for its vibrant culture, beautiful beaches, and lively cities. But under its surface, there's an unsettling truth that might make you think twice about visiting. Spain, home to various communities, including Black Spaniards and people of color, is struggling with a big problem: racism. It's a bit surprising because Spain is a diverse place, but racism is a real issue there. Black Spaniards and immigrants of color have shared their stories of racial discrimination, even though the country is a mix of different cultures. Take Abraham Gimenez Anoa, a Cuban writer who moved to Spain in 2021. He's experienced a shocking 182 incidents of racism so far. It's everything from being followed around stores to facing ID checks on public transport. These stories show a society that's not facing up to its own problems. Even in sports, where you'd hope to see unity, racism rears its ugly head. In a recent game between Real Madrid and Valencia, Vinicius Jr., a young player, had to endure racial slurs from the opposing fans. They used offensive taunts, calling him a monkey. This isn't the only time Vinicius has faced racism. It happens even outside the stadium. The saddest part is that not much is being done to stop this. Spain, which says it's all about progress and inclusion, isn't doing enough to tackle this deeply rooted issue. The voices of people facing racism don't seem to be reaching the right ears, leaving them feeling frustrated and let down. So, while Spain might look like an amazing place to visit, it's got a dark side of racism that's hard to ignore. Think twice about putting it on your travel list. Number 6. Italy. Italy, with its rich history and delicious food, might be high on your travel list. But there's a side to Italy that's important to know about racism. This is a country where people who don't look European might face some problems. Some of this goes back to the European migrant crisis in 2014, which led to anti-immigrant feelings. Black travelers often have to deal with stares, and Black women, in particular, report a lot of unwanted attention that can lead to uncomfortable situations. Blackface is still a thing in Italy, and Black tourists sometimes get turned away by hotels or experience delays at restaurants. It's not always as welcoming as you might hope. When you think about Italy, remember that it's not just about the beautiful sights and tasty food. It's also a place where racism can be an issue, whether you're booking a hotel or trying to enjoy a meal. Number 5. Morocco. Morocco is a country with stunning landscapes and a rich culture. But there's a side of Morocco's history that's often left unspoken, and it's connected to a dark past: the trans-Saharan slave trade. Over the centuries, Morocco took part in the trans-Saharan slave trade, and that history has left a lasting impact. Unfortunately, anti-Black racism is still around today, even though many non-Black Moroccans might deny or ignore it. They use racist terms and derogatory labels to refer to Black Moroccans, treating them as less than human. This kind of language is based on old prejudices and shows a lack of understanding and empathy. Sometimes they even compare Black people to animals like monkeys and pigs, making them feel like outsiders. Even though we don't have exact numbers, Black Moroccans are a significant part of the population, shaped by the trans-Saharan slave trade. So, while you explore Morocco's beauty, remember that there is issue of racism that still affects the lives of Black Moroccans. Number 4. USA. Now, when you think of the United States, you might picture a land of opportunity and freedom, with a history of welcoming people from all around the world. But there's a reality that you need to be aware of: racism. It's a country where a lot of a person's wealth is passed down from previous generations, and it's closely tied to your career choices. But this wealth and opportunity have been denied to African Americans for a long time. The United States has a past where Black and white people were kept apart, laws that treated Black people unfairly, and a lot of racism built into the system. This caused big differences between African Americans and white Americans. But racism isn't just about money. Black people in the United States are more likely to be stopped by the police, and they often get harsher punishments for the same crimes as white people. Recent events and studies have shown that Black men are more likely to be treated badly or even killed by the police. Number 3. Brazil. Now, when you think of Brazil, you might picture samba dancing, beautiful beaches, and joyful celebrations. But there's something darker lurking beneath the surface. Brazil is a beautiful country with a rich mix of cultures, but it's also a place where racism is a big issue. It's a bit surprising because Brazil is known for having people of all different backgrounds living together, but it's not as harmonious as it might seem. The problem goes back a long way, all the way to when slavery was abolished in 1888. Instead of bringing people together, the authorities tried to create an image of racial harmony. They wanted to make it look like everyone gets along just fine. But that's not the whole story. The facts show that black and brown Brazilians face a lot of discrimination. They often get treated unfairly by the police, have less access to education, and don't get as many good job opportunities. That's not all. They're more likely to experience violence and make less money compared to white Brazilians. This kind of discrimination makes it hard for black and brown people to move up in the world, even though there are laws against racism. It's not just big things, it's also little everyday stuff that makes life harder for them. Number 2. France. France is a dream destination for many, with its iconic Eiffel Tower, incredible museums, and the charm of Paris. But there's a side to France that's not as charming: racism. It might not be obvious at first, but it's there. The COVID-19 pandemic gave room for some harmful ideas to spread, and politics sometimes stoke fears about immigration and security, which can have a troubling racial edge. What's even trickier is that racism in France often hides beneath a polite surface. You might not notice it at first, but black people often end up in jobs like cleaning or behind the scenes. It's like there's a secret divide in who gets to do what. Even though there have been laws against racism for over 50 years, it's still a problem in France. Number 1. Switzerland. Switzerland, with its amazing weather, stunning Alps, delicious cheese, chocolates, and precision watches, is a fantastic place to visit. But there's a problem that can't be ignored: racism, especially against people of African descent. A recent report given to the UN Human Rights Council showed some serious issues. They found racism everywhere, from the police being too harsh to everyday situations that are just heartbreaking. Switzerland never had colonies, but it benefited from the transatlantic slave trade, and that history still leaves a mark. Even in playgrounds, you can find kids playing games like "Who is Afraid of the Black Man?" These games might seem harmless, but they teach kids to be biased. Racial profiling is another big problem. The police often target people based on their skin color, leading to awful situations where black people sometimes get hurt or even killed. Racism isn't only about the police. It also seeps into where people live and work. People with names that sound different often struggle to find a place to stay or secure good jobs. This bias is widespread and creates challenges for black individuals in Switzerland. So even though Switzerland boasts incredible natural beauty and rich culture, it's important to prioritize your safety and respect. No vacation is worth experiencing discrimination based on your skin color. There are many places around the world that embrace everyone, so think about exploring those instead. And that brings us to the end of our eye-opening journey through Blacks Beware 7 countries that you never want to visit on Disturbing History Mysteries. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to share your comments below. If you find this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Stay curious, keep learning with Disturbing History Mysteries, and we'll see you in the next video.